today I'd like to take us on the entry of telecomms into the financial industry and the impact it will have on the banks. Disregard big banks, it will have an impact on the banks itself in general. So let's start with the new face of financial services. Before, between 90s to 2005, oh, okay, we've said that. The world was respected and our mission is setting standards for sustainable business practices that unleash the talents of our employees, deliver superior value to our customers, and provide innovative solutions for the markets and communities we serve. So it's actually from the mission of providing innovative solutions that we decided to extend our training to not just what we keep on our desk, but also what is going on in our market environment and how we can provide innovative solutions to our customers. So in 2019, the face of banking or financial services, however you want to put it, has changed. Before, from your 90s to your early 2000s, it was all about the big banks, it was all about reputation, it was all about how many years the bank has been in the system. That was what influenced a lot of people to use their services. But right now, people are not interested in whether you're a First Bank or you're a Zenith Bank. All people want is fast, efficient services that they can use to, that they can utilize for financial services. So right now in 2019, the selling point for financial services has pivoted from branding and is down to flexibility. So that's why you see that a lot of customers, instead of paying up in the banks, they are more interested in what they can do on their mobile phones, on their apps, mobile banking, internet transfers. That's what they're interested in. So now the ease of performing financial transactions in mobile phones, because of this, has seen a major increase in the success of alternative finance providers who integrate technology with financial services, commonly termed as the fintech companies. Before, outside the banks, what you had in the space was your microfinance, and then you had your money lenders for the mass markets. But now, with the entrance of fintech companies, what you have is services that will provide quick solutions to what your bank is giving you. They've partnered with banks, so it's not as if you're opening another bank account. Your same bank account, you can perform several financial transactions with your phone. Any of us now, if you want to get like 3 or 4 loans, all you need to do is to download their apps. Is it Lydia? Is it Renon? Is it Carbon? You download their app. Within 24 hours, you get your loan. The period of even asking for guarantor self has gone. Right now, once you're employed, it's only people that are self-employed that are even still having issues with quick loan. Once you can prove your place of employment, you can get a loan in the next 3 hours, 4 hours with these fintech companies. So what you see now is that people are actually coming to the banks yet, but once you run credit checks, you see that they already have 3 or 4 other loans with your fintech. And at some point, if the banks keep on frustrating them, they will stop coming. So for now, the market share of fintech right now is not anything for us to lose sleep about for now, because it's still small. You see them doing revenues of 3 billion, like Carbon did 3 billion last year. You see small savings fintech like Piggy Bank doing about 1 billion. You know, these are not significant numbers for big banks to be worried about. The smaller banks like your Heritage and your Sky might be worried about that. But banks like Access Bank, Zenith Bank, UBA, for now they are not worried about. In fact, most of the fintech companies have deposit accounts with us, and you know, we look at what they are doing but we're not really threatened. But now that the telecoms companies are coming into the space, so the question is, should we be worried? Why and what should we do? So in 2009, the CBN released its regulatory framework for mobile money. Basically, what that framework was talking about is how to improve mobile payments in the system so that they can drive financial inclusion. And you have the NFIS, where part of its target is that by 2020, 80% of Nigerians should be financially included. As of 2018 December, it's at 38.6%. So the telecoms companies have been trying to apply for licenses, PSP, super agent licenses for years, but the big banks have been blocking it. You know, the big banks are very powerful because they understand what has been happening in other countries in Africa. For instance, PSP is Payment Service Bank license. Then you have your super agent license. Super agent license is just basically like a cash in, cash out license where you can convert your airtime sellers to money agents. PSP license is where the company that has the license can assist their customers perform financial transactions. You can open ATMs, you can have a mobile account, you can transfer money. But the only thing you cannot do with your PSP license is to lend and to trade in FX. So for now, December 2018, MTN already has a super agent license. They've applied for a PSP license that will probably come out before the end of 2019. Same thing with other telecoms companies. So this is just the breakdown of when telecoms start becoming furious. I came up with that word. And that means when they start becoming interested in financial services. Because most of them now have a large customer base of between, MTN has about 63 million subscribers. Airtel and Globacom has about 25% of that. And then Nine Mobile has about, if I'm not mistaken, about 5 million there, but I'm not sure about that. So when you have that kind of database, and you know that the banks have not been able to service a lot of them, especially in the rural areas, and you see that in other, sorry, let me apologize. I'm not going the way it's going. I just thought you guys probably would have read it. So I just thought we are just here to discuss. So if you are going through the slides and following my conversation, you might lose track. So as I was saying, when the telecoms companies have seen that in other African countries and in India and some other European countries, telecoms companies are doing a lot. In Kenya, M-Pesa in 2014, the revenue they got was half of the country's GDP. So if as a bank, to open a branch, to pay salaries, imagine the expenses you expend to go to maybe some village that you might not even break even. But these telecoms companies, with your phone number, they can assist you perform these same services at minimal cost. And the idea of even a super agent is that they might not even be trading with their own money. So for instance, how a super agent works is you could have a supermarket or a big trading center that has a lot of traffic. And so if you have probably like 500 million, depends on whatever SLAs have been agreed between you and the company that has a super agent license. Say for instance, it says to become a super agent for me, you have to have 500 million naira. So you have 500 million naira deposit with them, and then they come, they install the device in your center, and then people come, when you have your excess cash, they come and take cash, they come and deposit cash, it goes through their system, you take your commission, and then you remit to the company. So in some instances, they don't even have to be trading with their own cash. And then a bank is there, you are worried about risk, you're worried about expenses, and you're worried about going into these rural areas and what it entails. So that's basically why telecoms companies are becoming curious. And that's why big banks have been trying to block them for years. But the CBN, as of 2018, discovered that, because this as you can see here, the regulatory framework was instituted in 2009, and if I'm not mistaken, the NFIS was instituted in 2012. But as at 2018, the goal of reaching financial inclusion at 80% is 2020 has not been met. So they understood that for them to meet this deadline, they have to involve the telecoms companies. Nigeria is one of the biggest countries in Africa, yet penetration of mobile money has lagged behind. And the only reason why is because the telecoms companies have not been involved. So 2018, they opened up the gateway for telecoms companies to apply for licenses. And that's why I see that all of them applied for licenses. December 2018, MTN has been giving theirs, and the others are waiting for theirs. So that's basically what it's all about. Trying to talk about MTN and YDFS and the super agent license. Now, MTN is the biggest telecoms operator in Nigeria. As I said earlier, MTN is the biggest telecoms operator in Nigeria with about a subscriber base of about 63 million customers, and is expected to rise. As of 2016, they have about 236 million subscribers in the whole of Africa. So it's the 8th largest telecoms company in the world. So the bottom line saying this is that not only do they have the customer base, they actually have the money as well to compete with the banks. Right now, MTN has about 14,000 agent network. So that means they have about 14,000 agents that are selling their airtime around the 6 states of Nigeria. The MD, after they gave the license, he gave a press conference and he said that they are looking to expand it to 100,000 agents, which they will train whilst they roll out. And so my question is, whilst they are training 100,000 agents, how many of us are in this bank? If we are trying to compare. How many of us are in this bank? How much is your salary compared to what an agent is making? How much are they paying an agent? Zero. It's commission. So now, as I said earlier, Airtel, 9mobile, and Global. There was someone that told me yesterday that they went to 9mobile, and 9mobile, they've already set up a financial inclusion unit. All the telecoms companies now have an aggressive financial inclusion unit. In fact, very soon they'll soon come and start pulling people from here. So now, what is the impact of these telcos on the financial industry? I had said earlier that we are about 200 million Nigerians, yet about 60% of 100 million adults are unbanked. So the reason why this is happening is, we all know, lack of education. Sometimes they don't really understand. They see a lot of illiterates. They come to the banks. Once they see the forms, they see they have to fill and sign here. They get discouraged. The locations is far, and especially for some of them that are deep in the rural areas. I know for some places down east, even to go from the village to probably the local government of town where the banks are located, they have to spend some money on transport, and they don't even have money to start with, and the roads are bad. They'd rather go to the farm and make money than spend so much time in the banks. So now for telcos, they can conveniently convert their airtime agents and dealers to money agents without inheriting the large cost commercial banks expend whilst servicing their customers. With strategic partnerships with other financial institutions, telcos can offer an easier and more convenient alternative to utilizing financial services to millions of Nigerians, especially those currently being excluded by the big banks. Why are telecoms companies so interested in getting a financial license? What are they seeing that we are not seeing? The reason why they are doing this is because of the success stories of other telecoms companies in Africa. Impasa, which is operated by Safaricom and Vodacom, has about 24 million users. And as I said, in 2014, they were valued at 2.1 trillion kish, which is the Kenyan currency. They also perform microfinance and lending activities. In general, they've already launched their overdraft facilities. So in comparison, fintech for now, we could say they are pegged at micro lending in terms of probably maximum of 5 million, 3 million, 2 million. But majority of the fintech players peg it at 500,000 per maximum per user. And the reason is because of the documentation they require from the prospect is less than what the bank would ask for. But what it means is that M-Pesa has expanded its infrastructure, that it's now giving overdraft facilities. So that means it's doing exactly what banks are doing in Kenya. It's operating in Kenya, Tanzania, India, and Romania. So if a telecoms company, through its financial services, can generate half of a nation's GDP, then we know that it's a very lucrative avenue for income for telecoms. The same thing with Orange Money. Orange Money has about 40 million users. Okay, first line. Has about 40 million users, 30 million in Africa, reaching more than $30 billion in transactions in 2017 alone. So that's why you see MTN and Airtel, they've already tried doing this in countries like Ghana. But because of the human resource we have here, it will be more lucrative for them here. So in all this, what is the way forward for banks right now? As I said earlier, because of our size, even Moody's have stated it that most of these innovations might not affect the 5 big banks, Access, UBA, GT, First Bank, and Zenith, because we already have that large customer base, because we already have the infrastructure, because we already have the tools to roll out similar products that the telecoms companies might roll out. But does that mean that we should just relax while these guys begin to take their own share in the market space? No. What it means is that as risk officers, we need to understand what is going on in our environment, and we need to engage with most of the new technology being deployed. So that's why number 2 is very important. Positive quotes aside, it is important that the bank and risk officers will understand the innovative technological concepts being introduced to financial services and adapt our operations to suit them. We need to leverage on technology to introduce innovative solutions that will provide convenient services to our customers. It's also important to understand the nature of these licenses. The licenses that have been given to telcos for now don't have any, they cannot lend. So what it means is that they need to partner with microfinance or a financial institution if they want to deploy that particular aspect to their business model. So we still have the upper hand for now. So based on that, we need to provide innovative lending products, just like our payday loan was a good one that we've opened up our payday loan to also self-employed customers, because the truth is that for employed customers, there are so many people targeting people in that space. So now that we've deployed payday loans to self-employed customers, that's one of the good innovations that Access Bank is doing. And then the most important thing is that there needs to be a deliberate effort to train staff in the use of current technology to service customers. Most of us here don't understand AI. We don't understand most of these technologies that are being deployed. So they need to send us for training so that we can understand what our competitors, or even if we don't look at them as our competitors for now, we need to understand what is going on in our space, and we also need to be equipped for it, so that whichever way they are going, since we already have the forehand of being here before them, we would have. Okay, let me give you an instance. M-Pesa went to South Africa, and based on, before these guys roll out in any country, they would have called all their analysts to do projections, and they said that they were going to attain 10 million subscribers in South Africa in the next 3 years. They've been there for 3 years, they have only 1 million subscribers in South Africa. They've not been able to mimic the success they've had in Kenya and Tanzania in South Africa. Why? In South Africa, the banks are very active. All the products they want to deploy, the banks are already doing it in South Africa. Because South Africa has good infrastructure, roads and all that. So the problem we have about being in the rural area and not being able to access banks is not the same in South Africa. So in Basa, they are not successful in South Africa because the banks already are doing what they're supposed to do. So in the same vein, if we understand this technology, understand the products, and understand the mindset of the people we are trying to service, even while these guys are doing whatever innovations they want to do, we will already be there, and they might be reluctant to move from us to these services. So that's why I concluded like this. We are big enough not to lose too much sleep in the current innovations. However, if I should quote Hugh McCall, he said, "As every school child knows, the dinosaur didn't survive the ice age. It's not that he lacks the capacity to evolve, he just didn't have the time. Unlike the dinosaur, bankers can see the changes ahead. We have a choice in the matter. The dinosaur never did." And there's another quote I saw, unfortunately I couldn't bring it out. Somebody said, if banks in the next 10 years are not software companies, they will die. It doesn't mean that we are going to change our model and become software companies. What that person probably meant is, if the banks do not understand that this is the digital age and this is the time to be technological future, in the next 10 years we will no more be relevant. So it's not time for us to rest on our hands. So it's the time for all staff, regardless of what you do. Whether you feel that your own job is just very manual, regardless of what you do, you don't know where you'll be needed. Or let me even take it back. I remember when Alert was coming out, and Uzoma made a statement. He was talking, Uzoma Dozie, which is the former MD of the former Diamond Bank, said, everybody's going digital, and called a meeting and said, probably might not even need so many people in retail. And there was this rumor, oh, your job is going, your job is going, your job is going. You're still here, yes. And maybe that prediction was not completely correct then. But it doesn't mean that in the near future, you need 10, 15 people to do what you're doing. If you can leverage on technology and understand the space, you might not need as much people as we have currently. And the only people that will probably be here are people that have developed themselves to have expertise, to build their expertise around tech. So that's why I said we shouldn't rest on our hands, regardless of what you do, regardless of how manual you think it is. It's a time for you to adapt, learn, and thrive in